Public hearing. And just, I'm hoping, I'm told that the agenda is going to be changed around. And just like the agenda today here for RT was changed around, usually the minutes and everything else at the top. Now says the terminals at the bottom, so they would see, and I understand. And again, we'll say to Henry, thank you for the change on the, getting the agendas out there and other things, better availability in the website. One of my public comments is going to be about the colleges are open and are the maps at the community and the state of Sac State College. Yeah, new system.
I know, like,
We're supposed to have a 2 o'clock transportation
my staff are probably doing that. My staff are doing that. I don't know. So it'll come.
Good evening. Good evening, Jeffrey. Called to order this meeting of the August 26, 2019 meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit Board of Directors. Would the clerk please call the roll to establish quorum?
Certainly. Director Budge?
Here.
Director Hansen?
Here.
Director Harris?
Here.
Director Howell?
Here.
Director Hume?
Here.
Director Jennings?
Here.
Director Miller? Director Natoli?
Here.
Director Chenier?
Here.
Director Cerna?
Here.
And Chair Kennedy?
Here.
With that, we have a quorum at 90 votes.
Okay. Would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And not having our clerk here threw me off. Please read the statement.
The meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District will be cablecast without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel. Tonight's meeting will air on August 28th at 2 o'clock p.m. and again on August 29th at 9 o'clock a.m. and will be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. It is also closed captioned. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a speaker card located at the rear of the room and provide it to me or Jessica. Please speak into the microphone and state your name for the record. We would appreciate everyone turning off their cell phones. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, we will go to the consent calendar.
I'll move consent.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We do have 2 items for speaker cards. So would the clerk please read item number 3 into the record?
Certainly. Item number 3, resolution conditionally approving the contract for low-floor light rail vehicle LRV procurement with Siemens Mobility, Inc., and delegating authority to the general manager CEO to execute contract change orders or amendments to the contract.
Helen O'Connell.
Good evening, board. My name is Helen O'Connell, and I am on the MAC board for the Mobility Advisory Council for RT, and we've been asking for specifications on the low-floor vehicles to find out what kind of configuration they were going to get when they buy the new vehicles, but they said that they didn't have any specifications, and now you're getting everything ready to buy vehicles that they haven't gotten any specifications for. And I was just wondering if that should go before the MAC with the specifications before you buy them. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Mr. Lee, would you like to respond quickly?
We have Mark and Doug here. They will be able to.
Good afternoon, members of the board, public. On the Siemens cars, right now we're getting 4 on the San Diego contract with a option to buy 19. The first 4, we don't really have a say on the specifications. I do now have the copy of the spec sheet, and I'm going to meet with the MAC. On the second 19, we can make changes to this, the second group of 19.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And item number 4, please read that into the record.
I believe it's 4A.
Yes.
Speaker card. 4A, repealing resolution 1908-0091 and delegating authority to the general manager CEO to approve up to 7 free ride days.
Jeffrey Tartagia.
My comment, Chairman, and to the board is that simply is I believe it would be in the public interest that, like this, explaining when you do something like this, the why. You have to go into the nitty-gritty details to realize that because it didn't include buses, it was just considering light rail. But again, you have to read through that to find that is what's the purpose of the repealing. This is why in the last 2 or 3 that have been out there is it would be wonderful is when you put under consent docket what the purposes are for. Saying that you're going to give 7 days did not answer the question of what was the purpose. The purpose was for the, should we say, SAC forward, which is what you did explain last time, and then you had to turn around now, remove that resolution from last time, if you read through it, because it didn't include for light rail. I had my explanation, but I believe this is something that when in the future you put together, please consider whether that's the clerk or it's the chairperson that reads through the agenda to see what isn't explained to the public. You and I as transit individuals understand a number of things and read through the full documentation, but it's a lot harder and a bigger struggle, and it would be simpler if, for greater transparency, what's the purpose of it? It's just kind of like, as was alluded to last with the other earlier thing, is that this year, it has seemed that RT has not done a great job of any configuration, any specifications for so many things that they have been doing this year, all in the rush to get to Sacramento forward and getting to a new system out there. I think you've still got a lot to do, and you've got, as you say, a few days to complete it in.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. With that, we will move on to items not on the agenda, and we do have some I'm sorry, we have a motion and a second for the consent calendar. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Motion carries at 100 votes.
And for items not on the agenda, Mike Barnbaum.
Yes, President Kennedy and members of the board. Since the Regional Transit Board will not meet in September until September 23rd, I just wanted to go over some of the important and notable upcoming meetings leading up to that date, and one meeting in the same week of your next board meeting. On Monday the 9th, the Yolo County Transportation District will meet at 7 p.m. at 350 Industrial Way in Woodland. Similar to RT going through the process of SacRT forward, the Yolo County Transportation District is going through their own comprehensive operational analysis. And they have in previous agendas also talked about, as I get their mailing list, the UC Davis Medical Center route that they're working to partner with RT on. And again, that meeting is Monday, September 9th at 7 p.m. in Woodland. On the 16th of September is the Paratransit Board meeting, and that is at 6 p.m. at their Ron Brown Auditorium at Florin and Woodbine. On the 18th of September, 10 a.m. at Sacramento City Council Chambers, will be the Capital Corridor Joint Powers Authority Board of Directors meeting, and it will be Executive Director Rob Padgett's first Capital Corridor Board meeting since David Kotrowski stepped down to look at other endeavors in his life. And on the 27th, the time has yet to be determined, but it will be in Merced, and that's the San Joaquin Joint Powers Board meeting. The location, the idea of having it at UC Merced was brought up at the last meeting, so staff is looking at, should it be at the usual spot of the Merced County Administration Building, which is just a walk from the station, about 5 minutes away, or will it be at the new campus? That has yet to be determined, and that's why we haven't received notice about the start time yet. But whatever time it starts, they usually try to make meetings of 2-hour windows. And following that meeting, a lot of folks that will be attending, if it is of interest to them, will be going to the Rail Passenger Association of California Steel Wheels Conference on the 28th, and that's at 11:30 a.m. At a location adjacent to the Fullerton train station. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Crystal McGee-Lee. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Patrick, Mr. Kennedy, chairperson, and the ladies and the public. My name is Crystal McGee-Lee. I'm Vice President of ATU Local 256. My esteemed President Niz, he's out, as you know, handling the unfortunate incident that we had last week. So I come before you in regards to paratransit. And as you see, I don't have any members behind me, and the reason I don't have any of my members behind me is because of the fear of retaliation from paratransit coming before the board. I went before the STA board as well to present what you have in front of you, the green folders. And basically what ATU, President Niz, and I want to do is bring back paratransit to regional transit. As you know, the history of paratransit was a careful coach when it first started here. And so the reason that we say this is because each missed trip, which is $61, Sacramento Regional Transit pays regardless. We have members who are upset because the customers are coming to them because they're upset because they're late or they have missed trips. So that puts a burden on my drivers. As you know, paratransit spends about $2.9 million in brokered services. That's Yellow Cab and that's UCP. Our huge concern for us is that the out-of-control fringe benefits. Paratransit intends to spend $4.6 million next year on fringe benefits. Of those benefits, only 1.5 will go to 120 union drivers, and 3.15 million are planned for 100 non-union drivers. That means 2/3 of the benefits are going to less than half the employees. And I'm referencing to Paratransit's FY 2019 budget. Paratransit is going to see a ridership decline about 10% each year. And so we're wondering where that money has gone. The actual funding need is $3.6 million, but Paratransit receives $8 million from STA funding. I said that, I believe 2 weeks ago in front of the STA board, and the SacRT TDA funds. What's troubling to us is that in the past 15 years, where exactly has that money been spent? Where is it gone? The funds should never have been directly given to Paratransit, since the service is SacRT's federally mandated obligation. President Niz and the ATU drivers respectfully ask that you guys bring Paratransit back. Bring them back in-house where they started and where they began. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Since I have 30 seconds, I did that fast this time.
Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate it. Jeffrey Tartagia.
Board, our college students are back in campus. Are the new RT maps up there available for them to know that within less than a month that their schedules are going to be changing? One of the things that reminds me is because of what's going on with the signs, and you may or may not, I hope some of you have seen that if you look at the bus stop signs, the bus stop number, the most important information in any bus stop, is the smallest print. And it has been set in many places for riders, no, drivers. So please, what needs to happen is some checklists need to get installed so that when a person goes to a bus stop, they look and see, well, no glass is broken. No, this is the correct map. No, this is the correct sign. And when the rider sits there, they can see it. That's not happened. Unfortunately, I would offer to you is that some communication needs to be worked out so that when something is said, you see that it's done. I do not know what happened last Thursday, but how many incidents do you look at the Sacramento Bee? How many incidents have occurred to what in this new administration time needs to happen? Does it need, when anything leaves from the maintenance facility, is that you have those employees know that there's a checklist you go through. So when you do something, who is it that's informed that you're doing something that's going to go on the live track? And how do you prevent, again, hopefully there's been a review since that happened last week or a planned review about what is it that would help prevent this from occurring in the future. Most of the time you say it's human error, but does there need to be a visual camera on there for seeing who's going on the tracks? Because apparently you don't always know where the light rail cars are. But more importantly right now for the future is the bus signs need to be present for the riders can read them. And I would also offer that maybe you need to put an app in your, you've done videos out there on the website, but an app to explain what the sign is telling you and what the information you can get from it. And so you know what buses are going to be coming. Because if you sit at a bus stop, you're going to learn what buses are coming. But if you don't have the information about what the bus stop is, and again, you've got a number of them that are just ghost phantom bus stops. There's no bus stop number on them. Are they all in the system? Anyway, those are some of the things that I think is important before you have, and you're going to find out when things are working.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Okay, the clerk, please call item number 5.
New business, item 5, information, SacRT forward update. This will be presented by James Boyle.
Okay, good afternoon, or should say good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. James Boyle, I'm the Director of Planning for the district, and tonight I just want to quickly give you an update on our launch day preparations. We have 13 days, less than 2 weeks from today, so time is quickly ticking away. Quickly, just a quick recap, February 25th, the board adopted our new network, and staff has been working feverishly, nonstop on our launch day preparations. Quickly, here is an overview of our new network, the consistency of the routes, more weekend service, better frequency. So the important part of my presentation is to talk a little bit about our preparations and all the work that's been happening internally behind the scenes. We have been holding weekly implementation meetings since October. This is a meeting made up of division leads from every division inside RT, and we meet every week to go through our schedule and talk about where we're at and what's going on. We have a command center that we've created that will be operational on Sunday, September 8th, Monday, September 9th, and also on Tuesday, September 10th. We have a street team of folks. You've heard about them. They've been out on the systems for a couple of months now. They will all be out in full force on launch day. We will have team leads who will be responsible for managing all of the volunteers and assistants. Senior SacRT staff will also be out on the system on launch day, Sunday and Monday. We will have staff roving the system, so staff will have cars and they will be out driving around in their zones. Media events will be planned. Safety and security is also going to be of an importance for us, not only for our passengers, but also for staff who are going to be out at 5 or 6 in the morning at these transit centers assisting our riders. And then also we have been planning what-if scenarios. We have an entire spreadsheet full of what-ifs. What if we don't have enough buses? What if something blows up? So we've been practicing these things. So first bus pullout on Sunday will be at 5:22 in the morning. Monday morning, the first bus pullout will be at 4:59. And then Tuesday will be launch light. We'll have a media event here on pullout for the first bus on Monday, and we will get you more information on that as we get closer. We have divided our system up into 5 zones, and these zones, as you can see on the map here, are basically you have downtown and to the east, zone 1 and 4. We have zone 2, which is basically the north part of our service area. Zone 5, zone 3 is our entire south area, and then zone 4 is out east and towards Rancho Cordova. So the zones will be staffed by zone managers. There will be a zone manager assigned to every zone. Volunteers and SacRT street team people will be assigned to transit stations and major transit centers. So there will be plenty of opportunity for everyone to be out and be in communication with our riders. Every team will have tablets. So when folks are out trying to assist our riders, they will have access to a tablet where we can quickly pull up Trip Planner and help people figure out their routes and where they need to be and when they need to be there. Team leads will report periodically into the command center. We're going to have at least 3 official report times that day where everybody will call in and update on what's going on, what are we hearing, what are some things we need to fix right away. So we're looking at doing a call-in at 7 a.m., then we'll do one in the afternoon at 2 p.m., and then we'll have one at 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. in the evening. And the command center will be staffed from 4 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. On Monday, and 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, and also on Tuesday. So again, we're going to have our bus supervisors out. They will be assigned to zones. We will have staff again out on the system. We'll be out on the routes. We will also make sure that the road supervisors or the roving staff will be driving by those routes that have been discontinued, where buses will no longer operate or where we not have bus service, to make sure that no one is standing at a bus stop for any reason waiting on a bus. Police services is also going to be assisting us, and they will be assigned to zones to make sure if anything happens, we'll have police services there. So really, our number one priority on launch day is the customer, to make sure that this is as painless as possible for our riders and our customers. So we plan on having all hands on deck Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Just a couple of quick pictures. We've participated in all the operator signups. The new signs are going up. This is a quick shot of our implementation meeting that we have. This is every Thursday morning. We all get together and go through our schedule and what is everyone working on. This is the command center.
Who's the guy at the head of the table there?
Where?
Strange.
That one?
Yeah.
I don't know. That guy's weird. There's Henry. But we're not talking about Henry.
No.
But anyway, so this just gives you a snapshot of what we do and what goes on. And then we had really successful open houses with our operators. We had our very first open house was at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. We had over 75 operators show up, and we had a significant amount of staff here. So it's been really successful. The operators are getting excited about it, and staff is excited about it. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that the transition is smooth on launch day. So that's it for my update. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Are there questions? I believe Director Howell did express that she would like to be invited to the next 3:30 a.m. meeting.
I can arrange that.
She's up anyway.
Okay, I do have two cards on this. Mike Barnbaum.
Hello, yes. So I'm tag teaming with James Boyle this evening. First of all, Mike Barnbaum, for the record. So one of the things that folks are beginning to realize, if they haven't realized already, is that regional transit riders are not just solely riders of the regional transit system. If you have seen a lot of the marketing activities leading up to the launch, you'll see things about late night service, 7-day-a-week service always being there for you, and the big C word, connectivity. Connectivity to other regional transit services and transit systems in the region. So last Tuesday was the Transportation Commission meeting of the city of Roseville. And the Thursday before last Tuesday, the new pocket timetables started coming in through marketing and over to the customer service and sales center adjacent to the 13th Street light rail station. So last Tuesday, before the Transportation Commission, time was allotted to provide a presentation and materials given to the Alternative Transportation Division of the City of Roseville and all of their members of the Transportation Commission and members of the audience that attended that night's meeting. I couldn't thank everyone that was involved in getting that all together through a timetable order form enough that Roseville Alternative Transportation Division office has their local connection routes available to the Lewis Orlando transfer point for any of their folks taking regional transit routes from that location. And they're extremely happy about it. Also, have you seen Regional Transit's Facebook page on that social media platform? Bet you may not have known, and we'll read it into the record just so you know it's there. SacRT is offering free rides on buses from Sunday the 8th through Wednesday the 11th. Come try the new bus network. Learn more about the changes to each route at sacrt.com/forward. Yes, so whether Edgar Winter Group is in your head, come on and take a free ride, or Huey Lewis and the News is in your mind, don't need money, don't need fame, don't need a credit card to ride the bus or the light rail train, you got the 3 dates now that you can do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jeffrey Tartagia.
Jeff Tartagia. One thing that I think would be helpful is for your light rail trains at 6 o'clock and 3 o'clock that you produce a report about what in those time periods you're looking to see happen. In other words, if you're going to have a restriction of trains, if there is an incident that is occurring, it would be great if at 6 o'clock in the morning that you would, instead of the reports that keep coming out about bus shuttle delays or these things being delayed, those are helpful. But for planning going on, is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon know whether there's going to be a problem with, like today, with the gold line, or if there's going to be a problem on the blue line that you're running a shuttle system, that you just have at those two times create a report that gives some definition for light rail saying this is the status and there are these delays to anticipate. And I'm just thinking that for your press, your, should we say, high time where you're having the greatest capacity and needing the greatest trains, so that if there is something, indeed, where then the bus shuttle system is active at which intersection, because you have had 2 or 3 years to work on when your bus shuttle system works. And so far, I've only seen the one single map that dealt with from the Sacramento Valley Station. So I just encourage that is something that would be helpful for your rider's sake with the amount of light rail issues and at the highest time of ridership for light rail, meaning before the 9 o'clock hour and the 3 to 6 o'clock hour. If you can figure out how you could create such a report to be generated and people know where to look for it on the website or whatever as an announcement of what's going on. I just bring that up as something, it's not part of SAC Forward, so I apologize that I didn't put it in public comment. It's also where I also didn't say that feedback. I met with the transit rider and I met with some of your management people that are working on doing various things for light rail maintenance, both very positive, very good experiences with RT individuals. They're doing better about looking at the stations for seeing that the machines are operating, the electronic bulletin boards, and seeing what the station looks like. And I'm presuming that reports are coming back about that. The last thing I will offer to you is something that you guys really need to bring in here, the mobile bus stop, because those bricks that were shown out, you really need to look at, because since we have a decade where we're going to have a mixed fleet, maybe that's a way of starting to accommodate for these 4 light rail vehicles that 8 inches.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Is there any more questions from the board? Next item, please.
Item 6, resolution approving the annual performance-based evaluation for SacRT's General Manager, CEO Henry Lee. And Shelley Valentin is available if you have any questions.
Good evening. So for the information of the public, this item has been explained and expanded exclusively and extensively during a board retreat on July 22nd. And following that, the board also went to a closed session on August 12 to discuss the matter. So I'm just here to answer any additional questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, we do have one public comment. Okay. Jeffrey Tardigia.
And I will offer a thank you to Patrick and to Henry for following and accept what I saw as the example for James of SACOG about, in his review, about what his accomplishments and what he was planning for next year. I appreciate that being, put out there publicly, and I thank you. And I think that everything you showed through there, you well deserve what was going on and happening and the changes. Just we need to work on that damn communication.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Is there any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll move the item.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you for your good work, Henry.
Motion passes at 100 votes.
Thanks.
Next item.
Good evening, Chair Kennedy, members of the board, and the public. I would like to update all of you on the incident that occurred last week. Last Thursday evening around 9:35 p.m., a collision occurred between 2 SacRT light rail trains. A passenger light rail train rear-ended a stopped light rail train undergoing maintenance testing. The incident happened on the blue line in between Roseville Road and the McCartney light rail stations. Safety, security, and the care for our customers has been always SacRT's top priority. That started at least 5-6 years ago, since Chair Helm and Chair Sarah, and then the previous 3 chairs. We are very saddened by the incident and fully cooperating with the National Transportation Safety Board and the California POC. We have done everything to help them for the independent investigations. They are very pleased with our cooperation and fully transparency. I was with the team for 2 hours last morning to say the first day briefing, the Saturday the briefing. Then today they are here, about more than 10 people are here and doing the investigation from different perspectives. A shuttle bus service bus bridge was immediately put in place on Friday for passengers at the stations between those 2 stations. Early today, after a serious test on the light rail track, we were given the go-ahead this afternoon to resume light rail operations as normal. We were expecting yesterday we could get that, but they said normally it takes about 7 days to get that. So at the 3rd day we get the go-ahead. We really appreciate the support from the regulatory agencies. we are very thankful that the injured, all those injuries were very minor, 13 people, and all parties were released by Friday morning from the hospital. Also, we are determined. We will learn the lessons from this incident. We will react and implement corrective actions quickly and come back stronger than ever. We have been trying to reform, try to improve in last several years, and lots of progress is made, and we still have a way to go. Especially we have been very aggressively reformed the safety culture, and this incident gives us further direction. And I also want to thank a couple dozens of staff who have been working diligently day and night for 3 straight nights. We literally, after midnight and then early, end after midnight, start early, morning like 3 or 8 or 5 a.m. Certainly, I would like to thank the board for your strong support and the care, and our passenger for your patience and understanding. We will definitely, unite together, go through this, difficult time, and we will come back as a stronger agency in terms of the, the safety and the safety culture. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? I'm sure that I speak for the board to say thank you to all those members of the staff who worked so hard over the last few days on a difficult situation and got us up and running. So thank you very much to those who were involved. Next item.
Next item is the announcement of closed session items. There's 2 items. Item 1, conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 for existing litigation. A, Matthew Doty versus Sacramento Regional Transit District, case number 34-2017-0020-7515. Item 2 is conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D2, anticipated litigation for 1 case. And there will not be a report out of closed session.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we will recess into closed session.